Horror films possess a unique characteristic. They bring an element of escapism that no other genre can achieve. Horror allows us to escape the tranquility that society has built up for us. It allows us, for perhaps an hour or two, to escape the comfort of our lives, to taste what it is like to be hunted, vulnerable, and in some cases, utterly dominated. The Exorcist is one such film, unflinching and unfiltered. It provides a glimpse into unimaginable suffering, a chance for the audience to witness what it is like to lose one's autonomy, their self, or for the devout, their soul. But for all of the experiences this film subjects us to, perhaps the most powerful is a sense of hope. It reminds us that even when every light darkens and we are at our most vulnerable, the power of the will can endure. Yet, do not allow yourself to become complacent. As The Exorcist masterfully demonstrates, we are never truly prepared for what terrors lurk in the shadowed places of the world. Released in 1979, The Exorcist has become recognized as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, horror film ever made. It was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and secured 2, Best Screenplay and Best Sound Mixing. Only 18 horror movies have ever won an Academy Award in the 90-plus years the ceremony has existed. The Exorcist was the first horror movie to be nominated for Best Picture. It has since established itself as nothing less than a masterpiece in horror. It was perhaps the first movie that truly unsettled me as a child. But I digress. The film is multi-layered and contains several complex themes, but ultimately, the plot is centered around one of the oldest and most common tropes: good against evil. Evil in this case seems a rather tame descriptor, a demon revealed to be Pazuzu of Assyrian and Babylonian mythology. According to the myths, Pazuzu was a demon king of the wind, responsible for famines and locusts that would decimate the harvests. However, despite being such a destructive spirit, Pazuzu would also deter other evil spirits, seemingly protecting humanity from other potential horrors. In the film, Pazuzu invades the body of Reagan, a 12-year-old girl. The reasons why Pazuzu chooses Reagan is an oft-debated topic. However, it is my contention that Reagan was not really the primary target, but was simply the right host at the right time. The real clash of good versus evil, or as the film foreshadows early on, evil versus evil, is that of Father Karras and Pazuzu. Karras is a Catholic man of wavering faith, which to a demon is a prize without equal. This, I believe, is evidenced by the desecration of the local church prior to the possession. Yet Karras' will was not yet weak enough to be possessed, and so Pazuzu chose Reagan, a young girl growing up without a father and going through puberty. She is naive, innocent, and largely ignorant of religious teachings. By dominating an innocent child, Pazuzu was counting on Karras inevitably coming to it, rather than the other way around. Throughout the course of the film, Father Karras wrestles with Pazuzu, both figuratively and literally. The initial skepticism that Karras displays towards Reagan is an allusion to the skepticism that he feels for his own faith, a fact that Pazuzu takes advantage of. The theme of evil versus evil in The Exorcist is less so a statement on the nature of demons to fight amongst themselves, but rather a pithy metaphor for the constant struggle that a man of faith endures in the face of overwhelming despair. As a demon in Judeo-Christian belief, Pazuzu is mercilessly cruel and terrifyingly powerful. While unable to create in the same manner as God, Pazuzu and his cohorts nevertheless possess numerous abilities to distort what humans can perceive. He can also manipulate the physical world in a myriad of ways, such as making inanimate objects move or even levitate. Possession is, of course, what demons are best known for, however. By weakening the victim's will, either through force or charm, demons can penetrate their mind and seize control of them. Once possessed, the only way to remove the demon is by convincing it to leave, exorcising it, or to kill the host. In the case of Reagan, Pazuzu gained her trust by serving as a companion to fill the void that her father left. It was all too easy for Pazuzu to claim his prize at that point, bringing him that much closer to Karras. As Karras clashes with the demon, its vile traits become readily apparent. Distorting lies with truth, Pazuzu chooses his words carefully to torment all those around him. Although he is a master manipulator, Pazuzu will use odious language and violent threats to pummel agitators into making a mistake. After all, it is when we are weak that a demon will seize its opportunity. Pazuzu, though never explicitly named in the film, terrified audiences to such a degree that one could argue it shaped the way horror movies were seen. The depiction of Regan's possession was so visceral, so intense, that it caused enormous outrage in its time, not least of all from the Catholic Church, although many reports exacerbated the Church's condemnation of the film. However, the film's director William Friedkin insisted that his portrayal was meant to encourage respectful collaboration between science and faith, a popular talking point at the time. After generations of censorship and strict regulation from Christian factions within the Production Code Administration, The Exorcist unveiled an entirely new dimension of entertainment. The subsequent reports of moviegoers fainting, vomiting, and even committing suicide only added to the film's legacy. One might argue that it was not merely Regan that Pazuzu possessed. It was the nation itself. For all the murderers, monsters, stalkers, and kidnappers that have haunted the movie screen since then, none have come close to the presence of a demon-possessed little girl who spends half the film bound to her bed. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, please check out my other episodes on classic monsters from our favorite movies. If there's a creature or villain you'd like to see in a future episode, feel free to comment them below. I'm always seeking inspiration for new content.